Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort Line. Bombas make socks, slippers, tees, and underwear made with the highest quality materials. Press 1 for comfort, 2 for style, 3 for donation.
You chose style. Bombas has styles for whatever you enjoy. You can run in Bombas, lounge in Bombas, dress them up, dress them down, but always give back in Bombas. Because with every item purchased, another is donated. Bombas, comfort worth calling for. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO.
Given that today's episode is such an enormous topic, particularly within the sobriety world, we're actually going to separate it into 2 separate episodes. So we'll do the first half this Monday and then come back next. The kettle's boiled, Vic.
Great. Perfect timing. Just a dash of milk for me, please, mate.
Here you go. Shall we get started then?
Have you ever woken up on a Sunday morning and said, I'm never drinking again, and then found yourself waving $50 at a barman by happy hour?
Are you wondering why everyone else can stop at 1 while you head to a dodgy after-party with a weird bloke called Disco Dave? If so, it might be time to take a deeper look at your relationship with your reliable social crutch, alcohol.
On each episode, we'll investigate our own dysfunctional dealings with booze and find out if it's possible to stop this deeply ingrained habit before things get too messy.
Yep, we're going to open up a shame shed of humiliating drinking stories to help you understand why waking up from a booze coma each weekend with a kebab sticking out of your top pocket might actually be negatively impacting your health.
Hamish and I are here to delve into what it's like being sober, an unwanted warts and all look into why giving up those cheeky pints or putting down those mummy wines will make you feel happier, help your anxiety and mental health, and turn you into the most sparkly, authentic version of you.
Won't that mean I become boring though, Vic?
Well, Hamish, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm Victoria Vanstone.
I'm Hamish Adams-Cairns.
And this is Sober Awkward. I don't understand, Hamish, when people work in hospitality when they're grumpy.
Yeah, it's not a good job to be grumpy.
Yeah, I had this horrible guy being rude to me earlier and I was like, what the fuck, mate? Like, get a different job.
I love how particularly the French have perfected the art of not giving a shit.
Yes.
Like, why should I be nice to you just because you're the customer and I'm the person pouring the drinks? I'm just going to ignore you for a while.
Yeah. Do you know how much I'm getting paid? That's what they're thinking. Yeah. I'm getting paid fuck all for this. I haven't got a smile for anybody.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to America?
I have.
It's the opposite.
I know.
It's the friendliest people in the world. But I guess they're getting tips. Americans are always so friendly in shops. We love them.
So
this has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. It's just an experience that I had that I thought I needed to share with you. We'll probably take it out of the podcast. It's quite dull, isn't it?
No, I quite like it.
Oh, okay. We'll keep it in then. I had an email today, Hame. The first email was, what did you do to get sober? Right. And I was like, I got therapy. He emailed me right back and said, but how does therapy help?
Okay.
And I thought, what a brilliant question, because we're always banging on about it, aren't we? Go and get therapy, go and get bloody therapy. But we've never really said why it helps with your sober life.
Good question.
So, Hame, unfortunately, it's time to lie back on the couch and puke up all of your problems all over me.
Oh, wonderful. I've actually been needing a flush out. Do you offer enemas at this therapist?
Yeah, so I can organise one now in the podcast studio.
Wonderful. I'll bend down.
Yeah, bend over. Bend over, big boy.
Today we want to focus on reaching out for help. We'll share what happens in a therapy session and why it can help you move on from bad habits. This isn't going to be easy because, of course, all practitioners do things differently. But what we will do is uncover a few reasons why finding the right person could be the key to a long and happy sober life.
We hope that by the end of this episode, you'll decide to reach out and find someone to chat to. We want to give you the confidence to pick up the phone or fill in that online form and stop putting it off. Today's the day that you decide to stop failing to solve all your own problems by yourself and start accepting some support, because not only will you feel better, everyone around you will feel the benefits too.
I should say here that you probably won't get an enema in your first therapy session, just in case you were A, dreading that, or B, looking forward to that?
Have you had an enema?
Never. Have you?
Yes, I went on one of those retreat once where you did 5 a day.
5 a day?
Yeah, they found an old Rolex up there.
Wow, there's a time joke in there somewhere, isn't there? 5 a day.
The passing of time.
The passing of time.
That's good on 2 levels, Hamish.
That is good on 2 levels.
Thank you.
How did you feel after them?
Yeah, felt great. I had, I did one of those raw retreats. I think it was no food actually, where I just had shakes every day. It was in Thailand. I've done it twice. Yeah, and you just have enemas 5 times a day. You do them to yourself. It's like a bucket that you hang up and you put a pipe up your ass and all this kind of sludge comes out.
Oh my God. That is so
oh my
much
God, I'm going to make
information.
you do one.
5 smoothies a day.
There's someone
5
called the
enemas.
poo doctor around here, I think.
Care.
Oh God, I think we started the last episode with a poo story, didn't we? In fact, the lady that edits my books and the publisher say enough poo stories, Vicky, whenever I write anything. I'm like, but surely everyone loves a poo story, don't they?
No, you describing it as slush has put me right off it.
Not slush.
You said
sludge.
Sludge.
This is about therapy, not about brown sludge.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to start us off with a quote. Oh my God, I'm going against the grain here.
Okay.
Against the grape and the grain, Hamish. I'm going to get us in the right frame of mind now, right? Are you ready?
Okay.
Problem kan man nemes mit Dressglogen diesweis lösen durch die Estrogen sind.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, sounds like you've got something caught in your throat.
Yeah, just in case you can't speak German, that's an Albert Einstein quote, which translated means, go on, give it a guess.
I've got problems with animals, thank you. Yes, I is understanding.
Sort of.
Oh, good.
We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. This quote has had a huge impact. It is very significant in my sober life, I think, Hame. The moment that I worked out that I was failing at giving up alcohol on my own was the same moment I knew I didn't have the answers and had to find someone that did. I had to fail at solving my own problems until someone else could help me solve them. Learning this was the catalyst for turning my life around. I got help the day I understood this quote.
That's very profound, Vic. I guess at some point you have to say, me being in charge has gotten me to where I am today. So maybe it's time I trust somebody else to make a few decisions to see where we end up. Anyway, let's get to the good stuff.
That was the good stuff.
Oh shit, going downhill from here then.
Let's get to the shit stuff.
Let's get to the duller stuff.
Yes.
Now, this is very weird, I know, but Vic and I have the same therapist. I told Vic I was struggling with a few things, and she said, just because you consider yourself to be happy and lucky and have a good life, it doesn't mean you're not deserving of an outside source to step in and help you understand a few things.
You make it sound like I said that. I just said, just go and get a fucking therapist.
You said, here's a number, piss off and stop calling me on days we're not podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. I never said, it doesn't mean you're not deserving of an outside source. I said, piss off, Hamish, get some fucking therapy and stop loading all your problems onto me because I cannot deal with it. Yeah.
You're much nicer on air than off air. That's what I've noticed.
I make myself sound nice. I realised, Hamish, that you are not the sort of person that needs therapy. I know that about you. But in recent years, I've discovered that there is no type. You don't have to fit into some sort of box or issue to go to therapy. It's there for any reason, big or small. But I'm so interested in why you decided to go against what you thought you were and say yes to getting some help.
Well, unusually, it was actually Liz that recommended that I see a therapist. Now, obviously, typically, if anyone but yourself makes that decision, it can feel confrontational and you might not follow through with it. It's a bit like somebody saying you need to get sober. You're like, piss off.
Yeah.
So it was unusual that she said, go see a therapist. And I was like, all right. The reason that I went was to get over this mental block that I feel as if I've always had about getting a normal job, whatever that means. Came off my last relationship, and I actually think it's probably what ended that relationship after 5.5 years of being together. Then weirdly, 5.5 years into this relationship with Liz, it reared its ugly head again. And I didn't really want history to repeat itself. I've never really considered that you could go to a therapist even if you weren't suffering from depression or anxiety or trauma. I know that I'm an abnormally cheery and happy person. So I always thought that I had nothing to necessarily fix.
Yeah.
So I was like, therapy can't be for me. I've got no big issue that I can put my
Yeah, and I think
finger
that
on.
would be a very common theme for a lot of people.
I've always told myself that I'll give anything a try though, and I view seeing a therapist as a significant and a necessary step in anyone's sobriety. You find out a lot about yourself when you go sober. And I think therapy is where you learn the most. Any little lessons that you've learned just from giving up alcohol will 10x from speaking about them to a therapist.
You've used this term 10x
It's
recently.
because I bought Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. That's what it means, 10 times.
I bought crypto. And now any dollar that I put in there is guaranteed to 10x.
10x, right.
Here I am offering financial advice on the Save for Awkward podcast.
It's like the term super. Everyone says, oh, that's super cool, or I'm super happy.
Right.
I'm like, where's the word very gone in our modern culture? It's very happy or very excited. It's not super happy.
Yeah, she's super kind.
She's
super generous.
Oh, God, it makes you want to vomit on myself. Maybe I need some more therapy. What do you reckon?
God, yeah, you need to up your therapy sessions.
Excuse me, therapist. I've got real issues going on here. What has happened with this word super? I am not accepting it in my life.
I hate people being really enthusiastic.
Yeah, super enthusiastic.
Super enthusiastic is my issue. So we're very lucky here in Australia that you can get 6 heavily subsidised sessions if you get a note from your GP. So I kind of felt like, well, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I know that therapy is expensive, but if I could do 6 of them for cheap, why wouldn't I? How we ended up with the same therapist, I guess, is also an important point to make at this stage. Because if you're anything like me, you can easily fixate on the idea of getting the perfect therapist. I spent half a day looking them up online. I read their bios. I sent them all individual emails. And I still felt no closer to making a decision. And that would have gone on for another day easily. Eventually, I was like, fuck it. Who do I know who's seeing a therapist and has felt the benefit of it? Vic has. I just sent you a text. Who do you see? Great, I'll give them a call and I'll see them too.
That was the bloke down the chippy. That was the number I sent you.
I would encourage you to make a decision rather than procrastinate for weeks. If you don't click with them in that first session, you can always ask them for a recommendation or at least learn the lesson of the type of therapist that doesn't work for you and move on. Just try one rather than doing all the research like I did.
Yeah, or do nothing or think about the price too much. All of those mistakes are mistakes that I made on this journey, Hamish. There's also loads of stigma about men getting mental health support. I think it's harder for men to reach out. Did you come across that?
I certainly feel this. I think because men feel like they have to be tough and strong, I don't actually know where that comes from.
It's just historical, isn't it? It's just kind of how...
But yeah, no one's ever told me to be tough or strong, but it's sort of this inherited expectation of yourself as a man. And perhaps it's other men, or perhaps it's from TV and film that you sort of see men as tough and stoic. Maybe it's this generational expectation. But typically, I think back in the day, men went to war to fight. And now our generation don't really have any experience of that, but that's still the sort of expectation that we should be the fighters and the tough ones.
Yeah.
I do sometimes feel as if men feel like they have to be stoic because their partners, if you're in a relationship with a woman like I am, because my partner is generally more emotional, I feel like I need to counterbalance that by being more stoic.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's healthy or not, but I certainly feel a level of that to some degree. And I think that seeing a therapist or even talking about seeing a therapist does have this stigma of being weak or painting the picture that you are broken or that you need fixing or that something is wrong with you.
Yeah, it's like it's not a sexy thing to do, is it, go see a therapist?
So I've actually feel more pressure, not so much from seeing a therapist, but from admitting to see a therapist.
Okay.
I didn't find it hard to book in and see one, but I do double guess myself about who I should tell. People do sort of judge you for it.
Yeah.
I think. I don't even know if they do, but I feel like maybe they do.
They're either going to think there's something wrong with you or think that you're not strong or proud enough to deal with your problems yourself, and therefore that makes you less than in some way.
Yeah.
There is a stigma around it. There certainly is. I've found that even when I went, if I said to someone like, I'm going to therapy, I was worried about what they'd think about that. I think we need to get over that because that's bullshit.
I think that's something that it appears Americans are doing right. Like, I mean, obviously we don't live in America, but I get the impression that everyone in America is seeing a therapist.
Yes.
And that's almost the expectation and the norm. And so I imagine there comes with it less judgment that maybe in Australia or England. But yeah, the secret that I've found to seeing a therapist is that once you tell someone that you are seeing one, they often share that they do too. And then immediately you have this instant connection, and from that comes these sort of open conversations. That is, I would say, the single best thing about seeing a therapist is connecting with someone else that also does. Because immediately you're through the bullshit. You're just not doing small talk. You're like, okay, cool, let's talk about what this is like. So whereas we used to bond over a couple of beers, now we can bond over a deep conversation because we see therapists. That sentence right there is the most sober thing I'll ever say in my life.
Yeah, it's extremely sober. But
Yeah.
I love it actually, because for men in particular, it's a way of connection, isn't it? If you know a mate of yours has been to see a therapist, there's instantly a new bond, a new level of friendship there, because you're saying, I've been through something. I feel stuff. Even though I'm a man, I have emotions and I have hormones and I have stuff that's going on with my life that I don't drink away and that I have to confront and I have to deal with. I have trauma. I get anxiety. By being open, just by saying you have a therapist, opens up a whole new dialogue with a mate, doesn't it?
I wonder if my situation was easier because I was told to do it by my wife. I imagine maybe lots of men who are in relationships might not want to go see a therapist in case their partner thinks, oh, that is weak, or why can't you talk to me? Or, you know, like you're not being this sort of stereotypical man. Whereas Liz told me to, like she was hoping that I would. So there was no feeling that I was disappointing her or I was broken or that I would let her down.
I think most people, especially with mates and unsupportive partners, that they would feel like they're letting them down or they're showing that there's a problem with them. Whereas you'd hope that anyone, especially if you're in a relationship with them and you said, look, I think I need to go and see someone about this. If they are disagreeing with that, then I'm not sure they're even the right person.
Yeah.
Because it's just you going, I need some help. This isn't working. I am desperate. Because it feels like a desperate situation when you reach out to somebody you've never met before to go, look, I need some input here. It's a really brave thing to do. And if that's not supportive, if your brave choice isn't supported by the person that you're supposed to be in love with, then I think that could cause a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well, in our situation, you know, it was also a level of taking your barriers down. So we kept on having this conversation about me getting a normal job. And the same thing happened in my last relationship. It comes up like, why don't you get a normal job? And having that conversation with me was frustrating because I just totally blanked them. I didn't communicate. I put my defenses up. I felt attacked. I didn't listen. I just didn't want to have a conversation about me getting a 9 to 5. I was like, this is not for me. So eventually, you know, Liz was smart enough to go, okay, cool. This is not getting anywhere. Us bringing this up and just sort of having these frustrating conversations. We never argued, but just it never got anywhere. Nothing ever got resolved. Her being like, okay, cool. Go speak to a therapist about this. Maybe you can have a conversation with them and get somewhere that you can't get to with me, was quite insightful of her. And I guess a bit of a hit on her confidence to go, oh, why can't we get through this? We're married. Yeah. And to just go, you know what, I surrender. You need to go speak to a professional about this and see if it helps.
And I think that moment of surrender will be one of the most important parts of your relationship because you're going, like, we can't all solve our own problems exactly like that quote says. We don't know everything. Even if there's 2 people in a relationship, we don't know the answers to every single situation. So it's always good. It's like having a third party, isn't it? Somebody else to come in and go, look, you don't know this, but actually I know the answers here and I'm going to give them to you. And then you're going to go back to that person and just be much happier and much lighter because you've got some answers at last. You could spend your life going around in circles like that and not getting any resolve. But that's what a therapist does. They give you the answers. I think there are so many reasons not to get help. I think that's what we're finding out here. And because of the cost of living crisis at the moment, people are even less likely to search out a therapist.
That's totally understandable. It is not cheap. But I wonder what the cost of therapy is compared to a bottle of wine every night. Yeah,
well, I thought the same thing, actually. Let's say the average bottle of wine or 6 beers is $20, something like that. And you do that every night of the week, that's $140. And the average cost of therapy for a 1-hour session is actually about the same.
It is about that.
So if you can afford to get drunk, you can afford to get help.
Yes, that is suddenly affordable. And if you crack open a second bottle, then actually therapy is quite cheap in comparison, priceless even. Plus, I would actually say you don't have to see a therapist every week. You might go once a fortnight or even once a month is better than none at all. Factor in whatever you can afford. That's the key.
I'd say it's an investment, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But cost aside, what are some other reasons people don't reach out and chat to someone about their problems?
Well, there are so many reasons, and I know you love it when I make a list, Hamish. There are only 5 points, and all of them are excellent, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
The first one is the majority of individuals who have a mental illness do not seek or receive treatment because they don't feel like their problem is bad enough.
Yes. Is that something you felt?
100%, yes. I thought my problems were insignificant. I didn't want to make a drama out of it. I talked myself out of it. I wanted to solve it on my own, i.e. moderation. didn't work. I didn't feel like I was a severe case, and I didn't want to take the place of someone that really needed it. I think that's common too.
So how long were you thinking about seeing a therapist before you saw one?
I was thinking about it probably for 4 years when I was failing at moderation. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought about it and just thought, well, I'm just going to do this on my own. Therapy's for people who have real problems, not a silly drinking mother. I just thought, I am not worthy of this. I seriously never in a million years imagined that I would be someone who would give in to therapy.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
That is the language around it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't give in. Stay strong.
Stay strong. Don't give in. Yeah.
Bizarre. Individuals fear judgment, change, the unknown, and what they might discover in therapy. Additionally, they're too full of pride to admit they might need help.
Yeah, that was one of my fears. I thought the therapist would actually just think I was a knobhead, just a silly binge drinker. I had to go to therapy to understand that none of that matters. It was me actually minimalising my issues and not allowing any kindness in. And that was my main problem, not giving my issues the space and time that they deserved.
Let me tell you something here.
Yes.
We see the same therapist. Technically, she's not allowed to speak about you to me, but she does think you're a knobhead.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Yeah, she told me.
Oh, you're Vic's mate. Oh, she's a bit of a knobhead.
Yeah, that's how she
Massive
started.
issues. Can't do anything with her.
Yeah.
She's a total nightmare.
But I'm not going to tell her. I'm going to keep taking that sweet, sweet cash off her.
Yeah. She's like a mechanic. Taking cash off me when there's no problems under my bonnet. I don't wear a bonnet, I promise you, but I'm in a car bonnet.
'Twas a cold winter's night, and without any heat, I wore Bombas socks so they'd warm up my feet. Yay, my feet cried, these socks are the best. So cushy and warm, I can finally rest. But don't rest, I said, there's more, if you please. Bombas also makes underwear, slippers, and tees. And for each thing you purchase, they donate one new to someone who needs it, so they're cozy too. Everybody deserves to feel good all the time, so gift Bombas this season. That's the end of this rhyme. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
So stupid. Oh, he's lost it. Oh, shit. It was silent laughing. Just two of us sat in here laughing like idiots. I think we do need therapy,
Okay.
Hamish. Were you too proud to admit that you needed help?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think pride played a factor for me. It was quite clear to me that I had a block on this subject. It'd come up more than once. And if unattended to, it would begin to impact my family.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The way I looked at it is whether you think you need to see a therapist or not. Everyone has a set of beliefs and values that they live by. They are open to some things and they're closed to others. Therapy allows you to pull every part of that puzzle apart and take a deeper look at why you are the way you are. So for me, I was thinking, I've got no big issues. I've got no trauma. I thought, okay, what makes me a confident person? I unpacked everything. You talk, obviously, like, there's always the generic question, what's your relationship like with your parents? I was surprised that she asked me that. I was like, well, that's clearly not an issue for me.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Parents are fine. But, you even unpacking that and your upbringing and everything about your life, you go, okay, that's the way that I've been put together the way I am. That's the reason I feel the way I am. So I think it's fascinating, even if you don't have some big trauma or depression to unpack. Where the pride comes from, for me, was whether or not I wanted to share it with people that I went to therapy. That is probably pride is the word to use there.
Well, you're obviously feeling all right about it now.
This is
here.
Weirdly, this is less scary.
Yeah.
I think in my normal life outside of this studio, there are some people that I've told and there are some people that I haven't told. So I'm quite particular about who I choose to tell.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of the podcast, it's important that I do share it because there'll be someone like me listening who goes, therapy's not for me. And I think most men probably think therapy's not for me and I haven't got any issues and my problems aren't bad enough like you thought, who maybe needs to hear my story or your story to go, what have you got to lose? Yes, it's expensive, but go once or do 6 sessions or just try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not the end of the world.
In fact, Hamish, I think you're the perfect advocate for this, quite honestly, because, I had got to a point with my drinking issue where I had to do something about it. Whereas you could have dilly-dallied with this issue and gone round in circles, like you said, for years and years and years. But because you didn't have a high anxiety or a deep depression, you were potentially someone who would have never, ever got therapy.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to have felt exactly the same way. Like, I am not mad enough or weird enough or depressed enough to deserve some help. And you went out and did it, and it helped you. And I think that just really is the point of the podcast today, is this is why we're doing it, is because we're saying you are worthy of it. No matter who you are or where you're from or how big your problem is, this is going to help you, especially if you're trying to get sober. This is going to help you understand, like you said, the reasons why you are the way you are, the reasons why you're a big drinker.
Yes. The third reason that people don't seek out a therapist is that they doubt mental health treatment as a whole. They're uncertain it will work or misunderstand how it works.
This is a massive point, and finding the right therapist is crucial. If someone has a bad session, gets stupid advice, doesn't like their therapist, hears about others that have paid loads of money and got nothing from it, it puts them off, maybe forever. I nearly never went again after my first involvement with the public health service. Remember, I went to that hospital in Brighton in my early 20s when I had a sort of ecstasy-induced fizzle out, I like to call it, but it was probably a mental breakdown is the other word for it.
Fizzle out for over a year.
Psychosis.
Yep.
And the therapist asked me to name the Queen's children and if I pissed the bed as a child, which I probably did. Yeah. Quite honestly, most kids do. And I had a really bad experience, and it put me off forever. The other time I've had a bad experience with a doctor was when I was pregnant with my first child, and I was on holiday in France, and the doctor said, "Il y a un problème avec le bébé," which is there is a problem with the baby. And what he meant was that the baby was at a funny angle and he couldn't see it with the machine. And my translation of that was that my baby was inside me, and, it was a lack of communication, a breakdown in the translation of what he was trying to say. And that was a horrible experience and a really stupid thing for him to say. And then from that point on, I had fear of seeing doctors about my child that was growing in my tummy, which was awful. I was scared that someone was going to tell me information that I didn't want to hear. But of course, the baby was fine. He's 12 now. He's not a baby anymore. Also, I was put off when my son Fred was ill. I felt like I wasn't being heard when I thought I knew what was wrong with him. And that's also really, really difficult. So I can understand, whereas if you get a bad experience, why it would put you off. I totally get that. Yeah. But I think the point is that you've got to keep going until you find the right person, because those situations are rare and you will find the right person eventually.
It's funny when you said that. I've never really had a bad run-in with a doctor, but I've certainly judged people probably too quickly when they are anti-doctors or anti-medication or anti-vax, and then maybe I should take a moment and think about why they are.
Yeah, there's going to be reasons why.
Before I judge them, it's like, oh, how can you not want to get the vaccination? That's going to be the key. So yeah, I think it sort of made me think, oof, yeah, I need to not jump to conclusions quite so quickly.
Well, I think it's like any job, being a doctor or a nurse. So there's some people that are amazing at it, and there's probably some people that aren't. And that's going to put you on the back foot, isn't it? With any sort of ongoing care, you're going to start thinking, oh, this is the way it's always going to go for me. And doctors don't treat me right. But that's not the case. It's just a matter of finding the right one.
Like some podcasters are clipped and perfect and professional like me. Yeah. And then there's you.
Yeah, I'm a bit rough, Hamish. A bit rough around the edges. Do you think?
No, I said that as a joke. And now that you're admitting to it, I feel guilty.
Okay, that's okay. I'm slick. I'm not very slick.
You're right. I am a bit shit at my job.
No, but I do have, what did we eat for lunch? I'd got some pickle down my front, didn't I? Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, I do drop things down my front quite a lot. Yeah, my mum does as well. She literally has to wear a bib when she eats.
Does she?
Yeah, because she has to tuck a napkin in because she's just such a dribbler.
That's a sign of your age.
Yeah.
When it's okay for you to tuck a napkin into the collar of your shirt.
Yes.
You've given up.
I'm at that stage, I think, already. Yeah. One thing that we hear a lot in this sober realm, Hamish, is people going to the doctors to ask the doctor about their drinking. We just want to mention this here because this does happen a lot. You might go to the doctor and say, look, I am not comfortable with my drinking habit. I'm overdoing it, or I'm having a bottle of wine a night and I don't feel great about it, or you're worried about your drinking. And sometimes there are some doctors out there that might go, just cut down a bit, or your drinking's fine, it's something else. And they'll try and talk you out of you having a problem. The amount that you drink is not important here. It's your own mental relationship with it. And if you feel like that needs addressing, whether it's 1 glass of wine a year or 2 glasses of wine a night, then that's up to you. That's where, if you're struggling, get that across to the right person and say, look, no matter what you say, you might say that my problem isn't bad enough to deserve help, but I think it is, and I'm hurting, and I need you to refer me to someone.
The last reason why people might not persist with therapy is patience. Not patience. Doctors have got loads of those.
Oh, yeah.
But people not giving it enough time. Unfortunately, change takes time. There's no quick fix. Impatience is a huge issue with getting help. People expect to start feeling better after 1 session, and when they don't, naturally, they quit. How many sessions do you have, Vic?
I had 12 sessions, that's it. I have been back since, but my initial stint was just 12 hours.
So 1 a week for 12 weeks?
Yes.
And that did the job?
1 a week for 12 weeks did the job. How many did you have?
6.
Yeah.
I had 6. I could now get 4 more, but I actually don't think I'm going to at this stage. I actually did feel as if that was enough for me because I overcame the problem that I went in there with.
Yes.
I started applying for normal jobs and I've since got one and I'm feeling excited about it rather than like I've given up on my dreams.
Yeah.
I actually found the first 3 or 4 the most interesting ones in particular because I had so many of those penny drop moments. That's why I think that way, or that's why I feel that way. I can see that if you're trying to overcome an addiction issue, you might need X amount of sessions to kick the habit in the first place, and then probably a few more intermittently just to stay sober. Like sobriety can be an ongoing thing, right? It's not just, oh, I was drinking and now I'm sober, now everything's fine from now on. You might need check-ins. You'll have bad days. Anyone's sobriety goes through easy and difficult patches.
Yeah.
And being able to come back to a therapist that you know during the tough times might be the difference between you staying sober or falling off the wabble. Or falling off the wagon. Off the wabble. I fell off the wabble.
Oh, I've fallen off the wabble again.
Doesn't sound so dangerous, does it?
Yeah.
I fell off the wabble last
night.
night.
I fell off the wabble. I feel better now. So what happens in therapy? That's a good question.
Okay, so when you take your car to the garage, you know what's going to happen. Your car's going to get repaired. Simple. When you break a bone and visit your doctor, you know what's going to happen. Your bone will be set in a splint or a cast and eventually it will heal.
But then when you make an appointment to see a therapist, you don't know what's going to happen. Will you just talk? Will you have a discussion about your childhood? Will you be hypnotized? Will there be a spooky hypno witch there? And what's the point of seeing a therapist anyway? Why not just talk to a friend?
You clearly haven't met any of my mates, Vic.
No, it's true.
They couldn't tell their arse from their elbow, let alone tell me why I'm a people pleaser that likes running races in the nude.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I don't think my mates could bear me droning on about all the reasons why I gave up drinking and how hard it was and why I want to embrace my inner child within. I'd probably end up with no mates at all. There are some things that need to be saved for a professional, don't you think?
Absolutely. I've heard of cognitive behavioural therapy. I know you had to lie on a couch holding a teddy bear at one point.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, what is inner child work?
Okay, that's a good point because that's what I did a bit of and that's what really helped me move forward from a few things. It's actually reconnecting with the parts of yourself that might not have received the care and attention they needed when you were younger. When we care for the parts of ourselves that weren't given the compassion that was needed, we can begin to heal some of what we might have been missing out on in our childhood. Once I'd done that, gone back and forgiven the girls that abandoned me at school, that was the one thing that always came up, Hame, I was kinder to myself. The heartbroken teenage me felt repaired afterwards. So what I mean by when we went back with that, Hamish, we did a visualization about that situation. That's my little sort of bullying situation at school where my best friends never spoke to me again. In that session, when I went in, we'd done a few weeks to lead up for it, and we discovered that that was the turning point in my life where I started to doubt myself and doubt my own personality. And she said, right, we need to go back and heal that situation. And I closed my eyes and I held on to a teddy, which felt very awkward. I will admit that. It felt very, very awkward, but you've got to go with it. And we regressed into that moment. And I thought about it and I visualized it and I said, they're there and they're rejecting me and I could see their faces. And she said, right, you're going to tie a rope around them now and you're going to cut it You're going to cut the rope and sever the tie between you and them and understand that it wasn't their fault and have empathy for their situations. I'd never thought about them before, about what was going on at home for them and why they might have not liked me anymore. I just thought, well, they're horrible and they ruined my life. I never saw the other side of the situation, and going back into it and visualizing it made me understand that they were probably a bit sad about it and they'd made a wrong choice, and it kind of just something that ran away with them and it wasn't anyone's fault, and it made me have a different view of the whole situation. And when I cut the scissors and severed the rope between us, visually in my head, I felt a whole weight lift off me, a lifetime of anxiety lifted off my shoulders in that one session. Wow. It was incredible. It was actually a really interesting moment and a real turning point for me, because I understood that I didn't have to carry that around anymore. It wasn't anyone's fault, and it was just a situation that happened that I could now move on from. So that's the sort of shit that happens in therapy. It's not just you sitting there droning on about your problems. There are other ways that you can sort of churn up the information from the past that you need to be able to move on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
God, that sounds amazing.
So what are some other things that happen in therapy, Hame?
So my experience has been a little different to yours. So mine, I actually don't spend that long talking about the problem. It's more, what's the problem? Okay, we know what the problem is. Then she just asks me a million questions. And you find yourself talking about things you haven't even thought of in years. And she's sort of quite tactful with the questions that she's asking. It feels very unnatural to me, and probably the reason that you can't have these conversations with a friend. I'm always feeling like normally a conversation is two of you passing the ball to each other, dominating a conversation. That I always feel like, oh, and how was your childhood? But you can't ask those questions. So you were just talking 99% of the time. And then she's just sort of using your answers to suggest possible explanations for your way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And that helps you solve your own problem in your own words. That has been it for me. Like the absolute key moment for me was when she asked me, because, Liz was getting upset about me not having a normal job, basically. And she said the words, is your wanting to be a presenter more important than your wife's happiness?
Whoa.
I was like, obviously not. But I've never thought of it like that.
Of course,
and that was like the moment I was like, oh, this is less important. That is clearly, your wife and family being happy is clearly the most important thing in your life. You all know that.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd never had it put to me in that way.
You think it's important because you get caught up in these things in life and you think they're important. It's like me going away traveling. It's like, where are my priorities? And that's what therapy can help you with, understanding your priorities and making it really clear where you're going wrong.
Yeah. And I think that is maybe a nice feeling. I don't go in there expecting answers. I don't want someone to tell me the way to live my life. But I think if you can come to those conclusions yourself, A, the therapist has done something very clever, and B, I think you're more likely to make long-lasting changes than if someone's just saying, hey, give up alcohol and this is why.
Yeah. It's amazing how therapy can make you conjure up the ideas that you never knew you had. That's what it is, isn't it? It's like a stick being poked at you and going, why? Like question yourself, like question everything you do. Why are you the way that you are? And go back into those moments where you feel like you were sad or where you feel like you were judged. All of that stuff bubbles up to the surface, doesn't it? And it's just a matter of working how that stuff affects you now.
Yeah. Well, your sessions sound different to mine, but kind of fascinating as well. So what's a normal session like for you?
Well, I'm talking about, firstly, that session was a long time ago when I gave up drinking, those first sessions 6 years ago. But now when I have therapy, which I still do with the same lady that you see, I talk more about my confidence and how I'm learning to be confident and different situations that I have put myself in. And she says that I have a problem with going back to who I used to be. I judge all of the situations that I'm in by presuming that I'm still that anxiety-filled 21-year-old who had a drug and alcohol issue. And she teaches me that I'm not that anymore. I am somebody who's a strong woman who has a successful podcast and writes books. And because sometimes I question my own behavior and I question my job like you do, and I question my priorities, and she helps me get all that into balance. I think that's more what it is. And I do that by talking to her. And she doesn't say much. She just kind of prompts the questions out of me. And she really gets me questioning my own behaviors and realizing that I almost overthink everything.
Yeah.
And I just need to bring it back down to my core values and know that I'm always trying to do the right thing. She said, you're always trying to do the right thing, Vic, no matter what. And that is true. It's just that I get caught up in the minutiae of life a lot of the time. Yeah. I think generally all therapy sessions will be different no matter where you are or who you're from.
Who are you from? That'd be a nice question for a therapist to ask. Vic, but who are you from?
I'm from my mother.
I'm a mummy and daddy.
What I meant was where you're from, of course. But therapy typically invites you to share what's been going on in your life, what's on your mind, what's bothering you, and whether there are any goals you'd like to discuss. That's a real vast generalisation there, but kind of what would happen. You'll be invited to speak openly. The therapist will listen and take notes probably while you speak.
I'd also like to say here, if you're thinking, I've never been to a therapy session, do you have to lie on a sofa?
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed I wasn't asked to
Yes,
lie
I
on a
was
sofa.
a bit too, yeah.
I was just sitting. There was a sofa.
Yeah.
And I could have lied on it, but she didn't invite me to. So we just sat there and spoke.
Yeah, I do want to lie on a sofa a little bit. Yes. Yeah. The one thing that surprised me when I first went to therapy was that I felt so free. It was liberating being able to speak so openly about my problems. I wasn't criticised, interrupted, or judged. Your conversation is kept in the strictest confidentiality, isn't it, Hame? I said exactly how I felt with total honesty, and the more I did that, the more happy I was. I saw an interview with Dawn French recently that she was saying, like, what makes you happy? And she was saying it was just her pure honesty and talking to people openly about her problems. That is like the most liberating thing you can do as a person, is to not keep anything in. And I guess that's what therapy is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just letting go of all your problems, saying, look, I'm a fuck up as well as everybody else here, and that's okay. And and that is confidence building in itself, isn't it?
I mentioned earlier that it felt unnatural to not ask them questions.
Yes.
And to be dominating a conversation in that way. What I did enjoy about it, and this is something that you maybe never experience unless you see a therapist, is that you're no longer worried about being in charge of where a conversation is going to go. I realise that when I speak to anyone, I'm usually thinking, what question should I ask next? Like, where could I anchor this communication? I'm going to be thinking about my next question, my next story, and basically like taking charge of a social interaction. In that one, like, there's no worry about a natural lull or a pause or a silence. Like, it's not your job to fill it anymore. You can just sit back and they need to ask me another question. You're not in charge. And that has been quite liberating, I think.
Yeah. It's so weird how as humans we just brush everything under the carpet. We kind of just take all of our problems and shove them aside and don't even think about them and underplay what hurts us. Do you think? It's really odd, isn't it? We just hope these things will go away. But now, since having 3 different bouts of therapy in my life, I know that talking is healing. Getting it out fixes something inside. We're actually going to end this podcast there today because me and Hamish have babbled on about it for too long because it's such a brilliant topic and something that we both feel hugely passionate about. So we're actually going to do a double episode on therapy. So we're going to be back next week with therapy episode 2 and help you understand what will really happen in a session and why you should go and get it. What do you think, Hame?
Perfect. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. If you're questioning your relationship with booze, you're struggling to moderate, or your hangovers are causing anxiety, it might be time to reach out for some support.
Yeah, just talk to a mate about how you're feeling, contact a local doctor, find an AA or sobriety group. Vic's got one.
Yeah, just head to www.cuppa.community.
Remember, if you're questioning yourself, it might be time to seek support.
Even though this journey can be awkward, it is definitely worth it. And if you've enjoyed the Sober Awkward podcast, don't forget to review it, rate it, and share it with your mates.
Do they have to share it with their mates?
Yeah, of course they do. I'm not doing this for nothing, Hamish. Bloody hell.
How do they share it?
I don't know, just write it on the
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Look, love it or hate it, the advertising and marketing industry is the ultimate broker of power and influence in the world today. And now you can look behind the curtain. I'm Ryan Joe, editor-in-chief of Adweek and host of our new weekly podcast, AdSpeak. AdSpeak brings stories from our top reporters to life and delves into the people and companies that shape the products we buy, the entertainment we enjoy, and how we view the world. We're bringing the drama of the newsroom directly to you and revealing the untold stories behind the headline. AdSpeak by Adweek is your new essential weekly podcast. Subscribe and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
So, as you probably know, my comedy memoir, 1,000 Wasted Sundays, is officially out. All my magnificent fuck-uppery in one awkward hit. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy, it's now available from all good bookstores.
We always say all good bookstores, don't we?
Yeah.
Are there bad bookstores?
No, it's probably ones with moody sellers.
Oh yeah, really
Yeah.
depressed librarian folk.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah. So there are probably some, but we're only storing it in the good ones.
It's only made it into the goodies.
You can also get it from all good online retailers. The print version and ebook are out now, and the audiobook will be available in March. I've been writing my memoir for 5 years. It will make you laugh, cry and cringe, and hopefully inspire a few people to reconsider their relationship with booze. If you love the podcast, then I think you'll love the book, even if I do say so myself. Hamish has read it. What did you think?
I feel like I know a little bit too much about you now, to be honest, Vic. Look, I really loved it. It was hilarious and surprisingly moving, but I feel like I've seen you naked in a literary sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Yeah. From an emotional point of view, seriously, it wobbled my teeny weeny wooden heart, Vic.
Okay.
My teeny little wooden heart.
Well, his wooden heart is broken. Anyway, so if you do manage to get your filthy mitts on a copy, please do me a favour and head to goodreads.com and give me a review. Doing that will help me get it out there to those that need a bit of sober support. So there you have it. My story, unwanted warts and all. Come and get awkward with me.
Not to be too demanding or anything, but seriously, go and buy it
Yeah,
now.
go and buy it right now.
Yeah, don't just tell your friends, buy it, and then buy your friends one or two.
Yeah, don't give them a copy, buy it. Yeah.
And you know what? Don't be careful where you store it. If you lose it, you can always buy another 5.
Buy another one.
Yeah.